For the second of 3 days of our top 4 cup finals. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we play today, the Wajik people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. But we would also like to thank the State Government, the Department of Local Government, Sport and Cultural Industries, and also Lottery West, who are proud supporters of the day. Spectators also invited to have a quick game of FIFA 22 on the PS5 and participate in a Keepy Uppy challenge. This is all part of the Couch to Pitch initiative, which promotes healthy gaming habits and encourages an active lifestyle. All participants win a prize courtesy of Think Mental Health. Now on to the action. We've got 5 top 4 cup matches today, all from the NPL, starting at 10 a.m. with the men's under-18s final.
Thank you.
Excited for between Perth Glory and Bayswater City. Then at 15:15 midday, we've got the women's under-21s final as Hyundai NTC take on Perth Red Star, followed by the men's under-20s clash involving Perth Glory and Perth Red Star. And then it's the first teams, the 2 NPL WA top 4 cup finals, starting with the women's at 4:45 as the Red Star take on the Hyundai NTC again. And then to wrap up what I'm sure is going to be a fantastic day, we've got the men's final as Florida Athena take on Perth Red Star, looking to make it a treble of titles for the Athenians. Please. In the club rooms.
Actually gonna set this mic up, so because you'll be sitting down there. Yeah. So if you want to do it this way, it's easier. At the moment, with this button, it's muted, but when you press the button, that'll go red. Yeah. And it's ready to go. And the other way to tell if it's muted is when it's off, it'll say mute there. Okay. Yeah. And then click it. Yeah. That's easier than that button. Yeah. That's it. So I'll mute it now. Yeah. And then. I can just have this up here. Yeah, that's good. Whenever you want to. Because then we're like during the game when there's goals, I announce those substitutions and stuff. So it's easier if I can just. So red is on. Oh, red is on. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Dorrien Gardens for top 4 Cup final day in the West. Our focus is on the NPL WA competitions today. This is the first of 5 top 4 Cup final matches. We start off with the 18s, Bayswater City and Perth Glory. We've got women's 21s and women's seniors to come. We've also got men's 20s and the men's seniors to come. A bumper day of action. You can catch it all with myself, Tommy Dolman, and Sean Fry across the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as well. Really looking forward to this one. It's actually a repeat of July's State Cup final between the pair, which Bayswater won by 2-1 over the Glory, a Glory side who were previously unbeaten in the league coming into that game. Beautiful day for football, sun shining, barely a cloud in the sky. My co-commentator Sean Fry's alongside me. Sean, can't wait for this. What are you looking forward to seeing today?
Here we go, mate. Here we go. I'm just looking forward to some football. You said barely a cloud in the sky, Tommy. I think I'll go you one better. I don't think there is a cloud in the sky, certainly not from where I'm sitting. And if you look at youth football in WA and these top 4 Cup finals, the 2 names that you see more than any other, Bayswater City, Perth Glory, very familiar foes, and I'm sure we're in for a great one this afternoon. Well, this morning, and then more great ones this afternoon, and then more this evening.
Yeah, we've got a long day ahead of us. We had 2 top 4 Cup finals last night. The State League Division 2 competitions. The under-18s was won by Joondalup City on penalties after a 1-1 draw with Curtin University, and then we had the reserves, a 2-1 win for Carramar Shamrock Rovers over Swan United. As mentioned today, the first of 5 games. This one right here on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel, and then tomorrow our focus is on the Division 1 action, but more on that later. Glory kicking from the right to the left of your stream, wearing the predominantly purple jersey, Bayswater in their changed fluorescent yellow with the black shorts. As Melise Mpunga is on the ball, he'll roll that one across here. Eventually it will reach Christian Palella, wearing the pink boots this afternoon. He'll look back for Jack Overy.
I was going to say that one thing that I've noticed and love early on about this Perth Glory side as a football traditionalist is we've got a starting team sheet, Tommy, of 1 to 11. You don't get that often these days. The pink boots might not be traditional, but that numbering system certainly is.
Certainly makes life easy for the commentators, that's for sure. As making his charge down the right was Samuel Badiashile.
Nothing wrong with the pink boots either, by the way, as you can see the pink tie and pocket square I'm sporting as well. No issue with it.
Overy again goes all the way back to his goalkeeper in Robert Cook. Goalkeeper has actually been playing with the under-16 side this season. He's come up through the age groups at Glory. He's replaced Tyler Wilkie, who actually started in that State Cup final but has since stepped up to the 20s. Glory, 22 matches, 19 wins, 2 draws and just the 1 loss. And that came to Balcatta back in round 18, a somewhat surprising 3-1 result there. Palella received the pass from Prinsloo. Coming across to meet him there was Scotland Morrison. Palella still had possession. Prinsloo, the skipper.
Any relation to Monique, do you know, Tommy?
No, not as far as I'm aware, Sean.
Obviously a quality player in the women's competition. We've enjoyed calling over the years, just not a very common surname.
Switch the play from Overy. It'll come across for Sammy Barry. He had Palella running back on the outside as the fullback. Ball comes back inboard instead for Dearbrew. Sutherland, jinking run, tiptoeing through a number of challenges. The strike was trying to whip that off the outside of his boot. Didn't quite wrap his foot around it enough and it drifts wide of the post.
Yeah, good jinking run there from the number 10. Couple of Bayswater players just diving in when perhaps they should have stayed on their feet. The one thing defensively you don't want to do in a cup final when someone dives in and makes a mistake in front of you is to compound that by making it worse. Perhaps got a little lucky there, the finish was off target.
Boric, scorer of that winning goal in July's State Cup final, leaves it for Badiashile, who'll look to drive down this right-hand side. He was just caught by Palella, And Bayswater will get their first chance to launch a meaningful attack in this match.
Watch that boy today, Samuel Badiashile. Very crafty, pacey footballer. And I think his craftiness was on display there. Wasn't a lot of contact, but he went down and won the foul.
Chance for Julian Kelly to whip one in, or perhaps even get an effort on target. Wearing the skipper's armband today. Really good, technically gifted left-sided player is Kelly. Scored the winner in the 18s Cup final last year.
Big gap at the near post, inviting him to go direct.
Kelly whips that one in, teasing delivery. It was headed away by Overy back there. As far as Adesina, Demirovic tiptoes his way through a couple of challenges. He's got a man on his outside. In comes the cross, sticking a leg out with Zumpunga, and then the strut came in from Fuller. Charged down by Glory's rear guard, and then leading the race back to try and cut that one out was Jack Roberts. Ball up the line from Roberts, bounced over the head of Badiashile, headed back by Fuller. He and Palella do battle on this near side. Good football from the Glory here as they play out from the back via Sutherland, and now Adesina's in plenty of space on this right-hand side. He had the man inside in James Overy, and charging down that cross was Kelly.
Wonderful tackle from Julian Kelly. He's a player that you know what you're going to get. You know he's going to be end-to-end. You know he's going to put a shift in.
Last touch was actually off Adesina, so the throw went Bayswater's way. Boric will launch one long upfield, searching for Fuller, but Glory will get the ball back via Sutherland. He had James Overy to his outside, opts to come back inboard for Prinsloo instead. Now Lighthead is invited forward. Big switch of the play, plenty of space out wide left for Palella. Had a teammate ahead of him. Palella's early cross went in instead. Clearances away from Haas, I think that was. Jack Overy. Nice pass again from Dibrow. Cross then comes into the middle. Goalkeeper came off his line. Two big fists on it. And Lighthead will watch that trickle over the line for a throw.
Yeah, interesting to see Sam Barry there, the player putting the cross in. It spoke to his father before the game, said he normally plays out on the right or central. So in a position that he may be unaccustomed to. We'll see how he fares out on the left.
Spoke about how Glory were champions of the NPL Under-18s competition. Bayswater actually finished fourth despite having knocked off Glory in that State Cup final in July. Just 13 wins. 7 draws was really the killer for them in terms of being able to launch a title assault, having only lost 2 games in the league. And they actually have the joint second best attacking record in the league, so they are capable of a goal, and they've actually matched it defensively with the Glory, both teams just conceding the 14 goals. So it's those draws where they haven't quite picked up the points needed to keep pace with the Glory, as Overy wins the foul over on the far side, and a chance for Palella to potentially come over and whip in some quality.
I think Kelly perhaps just fortunate to be getting away with just a talking to from James Webb. He had the player go past him, and it was a bit of a cynical foul to hold his progress before he could get into the penalty area. Of course, a lot of referees don't want to give out that early yellow card because it sort of sets a marker that they have to live up to, and you can end up having to give out 7 or 8. So I don't mind not seeing it, but he'll be lucky and probably can't get away with another one. You don't want to be on an early booking in a cup final at fullback.
Half a dozen purple shirts waiting Palella's delivery. It's a gorgeous ball in, and getting his touch at the back post there was Jack Overy, I think. Goalkeeper Robert Sinclair happy to just snaffle that one up inside the 6-yard box. Prinsloo opts to send it all the way back to the goalkeeper. Glory will get things restarted again. They are very much a possession-based team, are the Glory. Game yet to really establish a major pattern as we approach the 10-minute mark. Glory have probably had a little bit more of the ball. Neither goalkeeper with a notable save as of yet.
You saw Badiashile there just looking to run and attack and show his intent early, but 3 or 4 purple shirts ahead of him. It wasn't the time to try and touch it past the player and run.
Lighthead. Ball forward. Sutherland has Adesina has a runner ahead of him. Just the one to aim for in the middle at the moment. Adesina, left-footed cross, back post was Barry. Arriving late on the scene as Palella. First time ball in again. The header was on target from Prinsloo, who was forward from midfield, but it was straight down the throat of Sinclair. But much better pace about that move from the Glory.
Yeah, good build-up, good cross, good header. Obviously just needed it to be either side of the goalkeeper.
Kelly on throwing duties. Fuller back for Kelly again. Now Ben Thorpe. Was with Coburn's under 18s last year. Had a very good game in that cup final as well. Clearance into touch there from Jack Overy. Brother of James, if you're wondering. Central defender and the winger, both of them formerly of the ECU Joondalup system. Boric in a bit of a tangle with Palella down in the corner, and he concedes the foul. We spoke about how Balcatta were the only team to defeat Glory in the league, at least anyway, this season, and that Bayswater were the only team also in terms of winning the cup. Bayswater also held the Glory to 2 draws in their 2 league meetings, a goalless draw back in round 1, and also in round 12 Boric's 90th minute equaliser cancelled out Qua and Go's opener. So pretty evenly matched despite the scenarios of the league positions.
I mentioned the traditional numbering system of the Perth Glory. We've got a very traditional Bayswater 4-4-2, 2 banks of 4 and 2 up top to press when the Glory have the ball.
Here's one of the 2 up top in Boric. He'll lay all the way back for Roberts. Opts to use his goalkeeper. Bayswater possibly happy to just have a little bit of the ball. Glory have been quite dominant, at least in the possession column, early doors. Here's Jethro Haas. Pulls the trigger on a long ball upfield. Lighthead was in the way of it. He'll look forward. Trying to turn away from his marker there was Sutherland, who's had a bit of a rise this season. I spoke to Glory coach Will Cruz during the week. He's a player who's actually sat on the bench for the first team this season, having scored 14 times in 13 appearances. Very highly rated player, and one who I'm sure Sean will be seeing in the NPL WA men's competition in the years to come. We'll get a little bit of that in the 20s later on as well. A lot of players who've featured at senior level will no doubt be lining up for the 20s as well.
They're always one of my favourite parts about today each year, is seeing these players we've seen in fits and starts in the league and seeing them in their element, what they can do against players their own age.
Bit of a close call there from Cook, who angled the ball nicely out of play with Boric approaching. And you mentioned that as well, Sean, an opportunity also to see some of the rising stars of the future potentially, as not just the Glory but Bayswater as well, with some young players who've had a lot of success at league and top 4 cup level over recent years, and will no doubt be knocking on the door with opportunities to play senior minutes.
So how often do we come to these games and then over the next couple of years see a name on an NPL team sheet and go, hang on, I've seen that boy before?
Testament to the work that these 2 clubs do with their juniors in terms of the coaching. Dabru Pass cut out by Jack Roberts, looking to maraud forward from full-back. Touch just escaped him, though. Glory were able to shield that one behind and out of play, and they're quick to get things moving.
It's very noticeably conservative setup from Bayswater. I mentioned the 2 banks of 4, but also when they have the ball there, the fullback's not pushing forward, certainly with any regularity, and on that occasion, the interception from Roberts came from just sitting back and waiting to pick off the forward passes. So they're obviously aware and wary of the threat that the Glory can pose going forward, and happy to just sort of sit back and soak up a bit of pressure, make sure there's no holes.
Palella with the throw. Adesina. Scorer of the opening goal back in that cup final in July before Bayswater's 2 responses. Here comes Ben Thorpe down this left-hand side, looking to run it. Lighthead. Thorpe, who'll want his left foot. Arriving now is Demirovic. Still had Thorpe to his outside cross. Left a little bit to be desired. And that will fly safely over Robert Cook's crossbar, but better transition play from Bayswater on that occasion.
But you see again there the fullback on the left-hand side, Kelly, just sitting 15, 20 yards, not offering any sort of overlap or coming forward too much, just there to drop the ball back if they need it. Do not want to commit too many players forward, and that whole attack started with a turnover there from Adesina, who showed a nice bit of skill to beat the first man and then just kind of lofted up a nothing ball. Perhaps his teammate could have attacked it a little better, but need to be a bit more careful in possession because this Bayswater team can hit you on the counter.
Clearance forward from Sinclair, trying to make a nuisance of himself, is Fuller. Header was away from Glory's defence. Now Sutherland has a couple of runners ahead of him. One of them was Overy, the other Adesina. Pass hit neither of them. Both these teams reaching today's top 4 cup final, having made it through their respective semi-finals and preliminaries. Glory with a 4-2 win over Perth in the semi-final. Major semi-final anyway, which put them straight through to this match. A couple of goals for Adesina in that game. Bayswater knocked out Sorrento in the minor semi-final, and then they defeated Perth in the prelim with goals from Morrison, from Kelly and from Josh Bell as well. Adesina. Long diagonal ball forward. It's a beautiful pass to pick out Barry. Palella herring forward on his outside, and Palella wanted that pass and maybe should have got it as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the aim was there from Sam Barry. Probably just wanted to slice across it and float it across the 18-yard box, but didn't give his teammates a chance at all with that one.
Clearance will bounce all the way through the Borich. He leaves it for Celestin Fuller. Now Badia Shirley. Fuller continued his run forward. Tracking him was Overy. Fuller with a cross off Overy behind for a corner.
And very cagey and defensive setup so far from both sides. Perhaps set pieces will be the best chance to test Robert Cook for Bayswater.
Kelly will come over again with that cliched cultured left foot. Not too many cultured right foots around, are there, Sean?
Mine certainly isn't, mate.
Crowded 6-yard area. In comes Kelly's delivery. It's a dangerous one as well. Ball could bobble absolutely anywhere, and I think it might have been Haas in there who spun and got the volley away, but it bounces wide of the post.
Yeah, as I said, I think that might be the order of the day for Bayswater. Hesitant to commit too many bodies forward, so if they get set pieces high up the pitch, they'll look to take advantage of them. And by contrast, Glory don't want to give too many away.
Badiashile pinches possession off Palela. Boric is making the run forward.
He has to give that ball.
Maybe should have released the pass a little earlier.
They had a gap there between the left centre half and the wing back there.
Meanwhile, there's a player down behind play for Bayswater, and he will require a little bit of treatment. Not sure what the problem is here.
I tell you what, the Bayswater physio was about to make her way onto the pitch, and she was grabbed by the arm. One of the Bayswater coaching staff, almost a wrestling move to haul her back. I'm not sure what that was all about. I think perhaps they want to take a bit of time and a bit of sting out of the game, but I think Kelly wants to get patched up and get back on as quickly as possible.
Well, Kelly is going to get a little bit of treatment now. Moved off the pitch okay, though, so we'd expect to see him back on shortly. Throw forward from Roberts. Clearance upfield, searching for Adesina in a 1-on-2 battle, and the numbers win out for Bayswater.
Yeah, that's what they want. Every time they go forward, they want a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 at the back. It was almost a perfect ball, and Adesina did his best to rein it in. Very tough first touch, but even with the good fist of it that he made, there were numbers around. Kelly's back on.
Diabru, Overy, Palela, pass up the line, searching out Barry. Just a little bit too much pace on that one, and out of harm's way as far as Bayswater are concerned. Forward from Sinclair. Ball bounced towards Thorpe. We'll turn around the corner here. Sutherland looking to run at Haas.
Yeah, Haas claiming that he tackled the ball into the attacker and out, and I think that's the... Oh no, it looked like perhaps they were changing their minds, but they just wanted the throw-in taken a little bit further back, the officials.
They'll get a second go at it, will the Glory. Looking to architect that switch the play again at Glory, and it's a good pass once more. Nice piece of control from Barry too. Palela. Touch just allowed Fuller with a chance to sniff that one out. Eventually Bayswater turnover possession. Now Roberts comes forward. He's got one player alongside him in Boric. Pass was slightly behind him, and Mpunga was able to step out. And then his pass was slightly behind Barry, and Bayswater get the throw. So midway through this first half here at Dorrien Gardens, first of 5 NPL WA Top 4 Cup Finals to sink your teeth into this afternoon here on the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel as well. Tommy Dolman and Sean Fry with you on the call for all 5 matches. Goalless between these two teams so far. Neither keeper yet to make a notable save. Conservative approach from both teams to start today's proceedings.
And you can see Bayswater in particular not in any rush to take those throw-ins or get things moving. You've even got Badiashile dropping deep here to help with the defence, and it's quite funny watching a game and seeing 2 banks of 4 and thinking, geez, you don't see this very often.
Palela's pass up the line. Barry, low cross. Traywan Potts was clearing. Diabru. Clearance away from Bayswater. Going to come back though, potentially. Palela has to go all the way back to Jack Overy. Jack in the 3, James in the 7 for those playing at home today. Stepping in there was Boric. Little clip over the top. Celestin Fuller was running after it, but Lighthead was zipping across to tidy things up, and now he's looking to really charge forward and break some lines for the Glory. He does a magnificent job and then sets James Overy away with a pass, but Jethro Haas has matched him for pace.
Look at the speed of Jethro.
Lighthead crossing again. The header was off Potts. And behind for a Perth Glory corner.
And not a lot of chances from open play. Bayswater almost had one there. Pretty ill-advised dribble forward there from Malise Mapunga.
Quite the opposite of what we saw last night, particularly in that Caramar Shamrock Rovers and Swan game, which was as open an affair as any you could watch. Joondalup City and Caramar Shamrock Rovers getting the Division 2 titles last night. This one just simmering a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd suggest the fitness levels of the players out here might be slightly higher than those last night.
Palella, dangerous ball. James Overy was it. The back post touch was off a Bayswater jersey. And they'll get a corner from the other side of the pitch.
Well, not many chances from open play, are there, Tommy? The set pieces are going to be key. Some big bodies in there for Bayswater.
Sammy Barry will whip this one in towards that near post. Header was away from Potts. Palella. Last touch off him, I feel. Yes, it was. Bayswater goal kick. Been busy early on as Christian Palella gets up and down this left-hand side. Loves getting forward and attacking. Player who's come from through the 14s, 15s and 16s. With the Glory before featuring in the 18s this year. Prinsley's poke forward. Adesina. Outside, inside. And cleared away by Potts.
A rare chance there for the Glory to get in between.
Morrison, sorry.
Those two lines of four. Driving run, and once you can get in that pocket, they do have the creativity, and I'm sure that will be the instructions from the coaching staff if you do get a chance to turn and break that line and run at the back four. The likes of Sutherland, Prinsloo be encouraged to do just that. I think it's a good test for the Glory, obviously, to see different game plans, and in a world at the moment, especially at youth level, where we're so used to seeing attacking football and attacking fullbacks that will get up and overlap and get down the pitch, to have two Bayswater fullbacks here that will wander down to take the throw-ins but then just sit back, makes it very, very difficult to counter-attack. You see there, he's got absolutely no interest, Roberts, in getting down and helping out on the ball. And that means when the Glory pick it up in spots like now, they have to be very careful with their passing.
Ball forward from Palella gives Adesina something to chase. Haas has to hook it over his head. Potts. Long ball forward will run all the way through to Robert Cook. I just spotted Kenny Lowe, the Perth Glory Academy Director and the coach, at least at the end of this season, of the NPL WA Academy side.
Just spotted him. He's been shouting all morning, Tommy.
No
Can't help himself, can he?
No doubt wants to come down and check out some of the 18s and the 20s. As mentioned before, Glory's 20s are playing against Perth Red Star. And that final will be played at 2:30 p.m. Palella. Header away from Roberts. Prinsloo. Into the feet of Adesina. Space out wide here for Lighthead. Sutherland links up with Overy. Pass came across to snuff out the danger, and clearance was off Sutherland and behind for a goal kick.
So hard for them to find space in between those lines, isn't it, Tommy?
Yeah, Bayswater quite narrow with their midfield, it seems, to your point earlier, Sean. Yet to really see the fullbacks bomb forward, as we've seen them in previous matches over the past couple of years. Maybe just a game plan today where it's about staying in the game, and then at some point they'll maybe pull the trigger and push the fullbacks on a little higher. Overy. Adesina was to his outside, had to try and stay onside, and as a result checked his run and the ball escaped him.
It might not make for the most exciting football to watch, but they've executed the game plan very well, I think, so far. Bayswater, this is what they've set out to do. Not give up any chances, wait for a Glory player to make a mistake or overcommit. We've seen that on a couple of occasions. Glory need to keep their discipline. Bayswater, if they do get the chance, need to be clinical.
Forward from Morrison. Thorpe will chase. Lighthead will lead the race. And we'll get the throw-in moving quickly for Mpunga, who's semi-pressed by Fuller, but to Sean's point, Bayswater quite happy to just maintain their shape and not getting Glory's grill too much just yet.
Still leaving those two up top, though, which means there's always going to be a threat if there's a mistake or a long ball over the top. We had that moment before where Buddy Ashile found a bit of space and didn't play Boric in.
Glory with some patient passing across the back. Now the pass comes inboard, and they've got a little bit of space here on this left-hand side. Overy. Bayswater's shape just slides across and forces Glory to go the other way. Mpunga.
There you go.
Now the turn from Sutherland. The releasing pass, searching out Prinsloo or Adesina. Bayswater once again able to cut that one out, though. Mpunga. Adiashile with a win in the challenge. Palella was across, though, to mop up.
Yeah, a couple of times Mpunga's done that now. Tried to take a couple of players on, and in that occasion it was a good option for him to surge forward initially. Sometimes that's what you need to break the lines, and now he's having a pretty animated discussion there with his captain. Well, I think saying you've done the right thing, you've got there, then you need to give the ball, you need to release it.
When the midfield have been marked so much and the space isn't really there, sometimes you do need a central defender to maraud forward with the ball and just disrupt that shape a little bit.
Yeah, and then it's all about the timing when you release that ball, because once you've drawn a player to you, that's the number advantage that they don't have anywhere on the pitch at the moment.
Palella's deep cross, James Overy nearly brought it down. Half a clearance away from Haas. It was good enough to find Thorpe, who fights hard. Couldn't keep it in. Glory throw. Bayswater lost 2-1 against Perth when they came to this venue earlier in the season. Glory, meanwhile, yet to play here in season 2022. Their away game against the Glory was moved to E&D Leaders Stadium.
There's the mistake.
Fuller has Thorpe marauding forward. Passes a little narrow, though, and Lighthead's got all the time in the world to turn on that and get Glory moving in the right direction again.
Yeah, I think Thorpe wanted that short rather than in behind. Not quite on the same page as his teammate, but that's the area where Glory can't afford to make those mistakes, and Bayswater need to capitalise if they do.
Palella Prinsloo. Passing board to no teammate in particular. Demirovic. Bayswater have got some numbers forward here if they can pick the right pass. The first one's for Badiashile. Demirovic then wanted a runner in the channel. Didn't get one. And once again, the Glory have got all the time in the world to just put the passes together across the back. Palella was nibbled at by Badiashile, and yellow card has actually come out for Roberts there, I think.
Yeah, just for thumping the ball away afterwards. I mean, that's just for a side that's really built its performance in this first half around discipline, around holding your shape. That's just an unnecessary yellow card to take. You don't always get them, but if you do it, you give the referee an option, and yeah, a little bit silly from the fullback.
James Webb, your referee today, assisted by Alex Cicerone and Samuel Baker. James Graham, the fourth official, as Sutherland looks to break forward for Bayswater. Thorpe working hard for his team on the defensive end. Then just needed an option to present itself, and it arrived a little late in Kelly, and pass was maybe just a little forced. And once again, Bayswater working so hard to win the ball back, just not quite able to put 3 or 4 passes together at the moment. Willie Hurd's team, a lot of defending in this first half so far, but in truth not really troubled. Now they might be able to profit on the turnover. Boric just waited, and that allowed Palella to get back and make the challenge. Barry comes in board, wants the runner over on the far side. Sutherland presented himself. He now gets back on the ball. He was crowded out by 2 Bayswater players, but drew the foul in any case.
Yeah, there are certain footballers that we've all seen and played with that when they make a mistake, they throw their arms in the air and drop the shoulders. You don't see that with too many of these junior sides, especially the top ones, and Christian Palella there is one of the players that if they make a mistake, that's when they run the quickest to get back and atone for that error. Apologies if that audio came through to you there. We just had a bit of a buzz in the headphones. Seems okay now. Maybe I spoke too soon.
Prinsloo. Kelly heads it back. Prinsloo again marauding forward. Foot came in there from Demirovic. Somebody lost a shin pad in there. And as it turned out, the challenge came in from Prinsloo and the foul was conceded. Header on here, Fuller lurking and trying to capitalise on the touch forward. Kelly with a throw. Boric. Cross charged down by Lighthead. 7 minutes to play before half time here at Dorrien Gardens. Glory 0, Bayswater 0. Neither team yet to force a save out of the goalkeeper. Palella. Ball across from Overy. Mpunga, that's the pass in between the lines. Little clip forward here from Prinsloo, releases Overy. Kelly matched him for pace though, and Haas was able to just stump it upfield for Scotland, who shows strength to hold off his marker. Touch came off Lighthead, nearly presented itself for Kelly. Ball ran out of play. And that'll be a Bayswater throw. Chance for them to build something here. They've not really had a structured spell of possession for quite some time. They're not going to get it here either. Deabru turns it around the corner for Prinsloo, who's got a lot of room to burst forward into now. He had Sammy Barry to his left. Barry took the shot on it. Was charged down by Roberts. Lifted over by Prinsloo for Palella, who's just always in space on this left-hand side. The pull back. Cleared by Roberts. Prinsloo once more.
Yeah, look at your fullback in there, tucked in right on the 6-yard box, and they've got Badiashile back defending out near the corner flag.
Strike came in, sorry Sean, and happy to dive on that one was Sinclair. Kelly. Turn around the corner, a good one from Fuller. Cross comes in, aimed in towards Boric, who is going to get there as well. Teammate in support is Badiashile. Still going Badiashile. The burst of pace into the area. The clear-up job from Mpunga.
Yeah, that's where you want to see him taking players on in the 18-yard box.
Forward from
Still
Roberts
ball to
again.
defend here.
Clearance from Mpunga. Scotland Morrison will try his luck. Straight into the body of Deabru. Now Adesina. He'll clip forward. James Overy's got plenty of pace, and he could be through a goal here. It's Overy who strikes off the bar. And away to safety for Bayswater it goes.
Oh, well, how quickly it can go from one end to the other, and Overy's furious with himself. That was the chance. Bayswater finally committing numbers forward. And I think a few players probably just caught ball watching there a little.
Best chance we've seen for either team so far. It took 41 minutes for it to present itself. One moment really where Bayswater were isolated in a one-on-one situation and the cover wasn't there as a result.
Yeah, I think
Overy was able to break forward, just
Scotland
couldn't quite get over the ball.
When Scotland Morrison, Tommy, took that shot on, I think a few players are just waiting, hoping it goes in. Here's Badiashile again.
Badiashile into the area, challenge from Deabru. A good one, corner ball. Three minutes to play before the break. Can Bayswater potentially create a moment in the lead up to the interval? In comes the delivery, a deep ball, the header was in! And disallowed by the referee.
Yeah, I think for just a little push in the back, I think he used his arms as leverage there.
Well, the header was scored by Haas, and much the disappointment of Bayswater, the players, the bench and the supporters, the goal was ruled out by the official. Foul was spotted. We'd have to go back and take a closer look at it. Suddenly, we've had two of the best chances of this half in the last 60 seconds or so, as Kelly slams that one forward on his non-preferred. Mpunga. Nicked here by Boric, but the ball will just trickle away. Palella. Less than a minute to play till half-time, plus a little bit of time added on potentially. Mpunga, can either team create one more moment before the break? Badiashile steps in. Ball just escaped him slightly. Prinsloo with a switch of the play. Overy manages to keep it alive. He'll run it. Julian Kelly here will James Overy. Overy was then caught by Kelly. And he becomes the second player after Roberts to go into the book for Bayswater this afternoon.
Yeah, I mentioned he probably wasn't going to get another chance, and James Webb right on top of that. We have had a comment in the Facebook chat. Feel free to jump in and give us your thoughts, mentioning that the early yellow on Julian Kelly's last tackle gives the referee control. I'm happy to go with the way he's refereed so far this half and give him a chance, and now the yellow card comes out.
One more minute of time added on to be played to finish this first half. Glory with one more chance potentially to go into the interval ahead.
1 minute of added time in the first half. 1 minute.
Palella is over the ball, and it comes lofted in too far for everybody in the end. And that'll drift nicely behind, and I suspect that Bayswater will be pleased to go into the break all square.
Yeah, I think that was the game plan from the off, not give the Glory too many chances. Of course, we've seen a few openings later in the first half, which is generally the way things go as the legs get tired, but certainly Bayswater will be happy with that performance. Glory will be disappointed they didn't take the chance when it opened up for them, but in a game of chances being few and far between, we'll hopefully see it open up a little more in the second half.
Half time here then at Dorrien Gardens, first of our 5 top 4 cup finals today. Glory 0, Bayswater 0. Couple of late chances for each team at the end of the half. One in particular from Overy, which hit the crossbar, the other a disallowed goal for Bayswater. That's the tale of the tape, really. Bayswater very well organised. Glory a lot of possession, but no real cutting edge. Goalless at the break between Glory and Bayswater here at Dorrien Gardens. Is a feedback coming through there?
No.
Oh.
So it's not coming in. It's coming through. No, not now.
No,
It'll just come and go. It'll just come in a really loud buzz.
It only really started around sort of 37 minutes in. It didn't happen before that. It was very weird. I don't know whether it's the...
Maybe it's the
I put my phone on flight mode just to be sure there's any like data or anything.
It comes and goes. But when it comes, it's...
Well, I can't do much. What I can see here is...
Yeah. I mean, at least it doesn't come through there. That's the main thing.
Well, yeah.
I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine. Your voice is fine.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's just the feedback. That's the point, yeah. Well, that's well, at least it means I just have to keep commentating and put up with it to be honest. Welcome back to Dorrien Gardens for the second half of this first of 5 NPL WA Top 4 Cup Finals on your Saturday afternoon here in the West. Goalless after 45 minutes between Perth Glory and Bayswater City. A couple of chances late in the half for both teams. James Overy hitting the bar and Jethro Haas with a disallowed goal from a corner. And just the one change to bring you news of at the interval, Quarren Go coming on for Jonathan Lighthead, so an attacking change from Will Cruz and Go. Very exciting, tricky winger. Player who actually trialled at Celtic a couple of years ago. 13 goals in his 18 appearances so far, so let's see if he can contribute to breaking this deadlock. Glory looking to start on the front foot. Overy, ball across from Adesina. Clearing that one away was Badia Shile, who was back defending for his team. Ball works its way forward for Boric, who has Ben Thorpe to his outside. Thorpe ran into trouble and Mpunga stepped in. And just while Mpunga turns, chance to welcome back you, Sean Fry. What are we hoping to see in the second half for either of these two teams to break the deadlock? Maybe Ngo will help just change that shape a little bit for the Glory, who seemingly now have Overy playing as right back.
Yeah, look, obviously we hope for more chances and more goals, as we got a couple there towards the end. As you mentioned, just the referee's decision and a crossbar keeping blanks on both sides, but I think, as I mentioned in the first half, the order of the day for the Glory is patience and discipline. Discipline also important for Bayswater, and this is exactly what they've done all first half, is just drop numbers deep, get in the way, just as Traywan Potts does there on the cross, make things difficult and then try and break. And Glory just need to be patient. They need to wait. Opportunity will come, as we saw after Scotland Morrison's strike was blocked, and all of a sudden they have Overy through on goal. So when those chances come, it's just a matter of whether they have the composure to take them.
Palella with the corner. Once again a crowded 6-yard area. This one's a deep delivery. Jack Overy got his head to it at the very back post. And looped over the bar and behind play. Just to elaborate on that switch from Will Cruz at half-time. James Overy, who was playing on the wing in the first half, on the right wing, will now play at right back. Sammy Barry will come across to the right and Quarren Go will play wide left as Badia Shile looks to burst forward the other way for Bayswater. Looks to lay it back. Was maybe caught in two minds as to where he wanted to put the pass. Barry then went to ground. Referee said no foul. Barry got up again. Stepping in was Morrison. Little turn around the corner from Demirovic. A little bit scrappy from both teams here. Mpunga comes across, wins the challenge from Thorpe, and then slides that one up the line into the channel for Adesina to chase. Haas with a little manoeuvre over his head, and he gets away from the Glory striker. Pass into Celestin Fuller.
Yeah, not a lot of room for Bayswater to build up through the midfield, so they have to take advantage of Badia Shile's pace as they did on that occasion. Now the Glory can go the other way.
A turnover was made and goes past, just missed Adesina slightly.
Yeah, just not the vision there to pick out a couple of players in Sutherland who had got forward.
Badia Shile gets past the challenge, then ran into Overy. Still might be here for Scotland Morrison. He's got an option out wide. He just managed to get it to him. Thorpe then came back in board. Sutherland looked for Prinsloo. And now James Overy pokes ahead. A scrappy start to this second half.
Badia Shile looking like he might be the key to pick that Perth Glory lock. A couple of surges forward that have created a bit of chaos before he made that pass to no one. I was just going to say, I don't think that's necessarily his fault. I think as the midfield runners and as the forwards, your movement needs to be finding those spaces, and he put the pass where the gap was. It's up to his teammates to get on the end of it.
Demirovic.
Throwing into this
Through the
Bayswater.
legs. Boric lays off. Ben Thorpe, first time cross, took a deflection on its way through. It'll bobble harmlessly away. It'll be a Bayswater ball.
Now this is a real test. Funnily enough, when you get on top in games like this, it's actually the bigger test of your discipline, because you can get players get a little bit excited when momentum starts going your way. A few extra runners try to get on the end of the balls in the box, and then the holes can start to open up the other way. So they need to take advantage of this momentum, but stay disciplined.
Badiashile, strike at goal, took a deflection, bobbling ball, and it drifts just wide of Cook's upright. I'm not sure he knew too much about the spinning ball, but thankfully for the Glory, it was wide of the mark. But they will get a corner, Bayswater.
Oh, what an opening 6 minutes it's been from Samuel Badiashile. Mentioned him at the start of the game as a player to keep an eye on. Was handled pretty well in the first half, but so far in the second, they haven't been able to stop him.
Kelly with a corner. Bayswater with a good start in this half. As Sean said, the strike came in. An outstanding save from Cook. I think it was Boric on the edge of the area. Now Badiashile. Bayswater cranking up the pressure. Touch off Mpunga. Baysy will get another set piece opportunity, will they?
Yeah, Badiashile again jinking his way through. What is the decision here? It is a corner.
Referee just wanted to have a chat with a couple of players for something I missed in there. Let's just go back to that outstanding save from Cook a moment or so ago. Must have seen it late. It was definitely flying in. Big strong hand.
It was a good hit on the turn. Body shape moving away from it, so he wouldn't have been expecting it to come as it did. In the end, he'd expect to make the save, but you've got to be really alert to make it, and he was.
Kelly. Variation on the set piece this time. Potts drives one from range. Was always rising, and as a result wasn't testing Cook's goal.
You don't mind that as a little tactic from the set piece to change it up, but they do have some big bodies in there that you perhaps think you could be utilising by getting a ball in the air. They did have the ball in the back of the net, of course, in the first half from a corner. Ruled out for some hands in the back. Now the Glory can settle into some possession, although they've just given it away there.
Adesina trying to outmuscle Haas. Adesina then with a low cross. Into Scotland Morrison. Ball might break here. And on the volley, the strike came in from Sutherland. Took a little touch on its way through, and it'll be a corner.
You had a few in the crowd excited. I think Robert Sinclair was always confident that one was going wide.
A little bit more open now, unlike the start of the game. Palella with the latest corner, this time for Glory. A high looping ball in. Overy was attacking it. Ball then broke for Jack Overy. We just leant back on that one slightly and couldn't quite hit the target.
It's always a bit of a lottery when you're firing it through bodies or attempting to fire it through bodies like that. Just hoping for a fortunate deflection or one to get through a defender's legs. They certainly haven't been able to control the game like they did in the first half, the Glory, have they, Tommy?
No, not at all. They certainly have been pressed upon a little bit more by Bayswater, although Bayswater seem very happy to still let Glory have the ball in these areas of the pitch. Now the trigger's pulled by Mpunga.
Again, fullback narrow, he can head it away, and here's Badiashile with a chance to go again.
Loves to run with the ball, does Badiashile. Touch gets the better of Palella. Can he keep it in play? He can. Important foot in there from Deabru.
He's got them on the ropes at the moment.
Really stepped up at the beginning of this second half, has Badiashile. Got that really rangy movement. And that burst of pace as well to match. Roberts. Boric. Strikes at goal from a tight angle. And guarding his near post was Cook. Striker trying to make something out of nothing there.
Yeah, not often you're going to beat a top-level goalkeeper like Robert Cook from that angle, but you can always hope for a parry to fall to a teammate, of course.
Scotland Morrison back for Jethro Haas. Julian Kelly. James Overy. Runner ahead of him was Adesina. Haas gets his body in the way of the ball. Adesina continued to fight. And then gave away the foul.
Yeah, seemed a little harsh. Looked like he battled well there to win the ball back, but something the linesman spotted he wasn't happy with.
Demirovic. Important foot in from Deabru. Roberts attacking it. Touch ahead. Jack Overy should mop up. Then tried to play it off. Robertson succeeded with what he was trying to do.
Oh, you've got to be frustrated as Jack Roberts there. You've got a chance to run forward. One of the rare chances that he's got in this game, and the clearance ricochets off you and out for a goal kick, and you have to head straight back.
Glory goes short. Jack Overy. Mpunga. Another player like Palella, who's played 14s, 15s, 16s, and now in the 18s. Thorpe. Ball over the top, headed away by Overy. Boric looking to hustle the Glory defence. Cool heads prevail. Mpunga will come forward again with the ball. Deabru. Sutherland. Not really seen too much of him in this second half. Coming a little bit deeper on that occasion to get involved in the play. Deabru. Sutherland. These are the areas he likes to operate in. He's got Kwarango to his outside. Running towards that byline. Nzungo tries to play his way out of a tight corner. Last touch came off him though. And it'll be a goal kick. But that's sort of areas that we want to see Corey Sutherland in, or at least that's what the Glory fans want to see Corey Sutherland doing, coming deep, exploiting those spaces and driving his team forward onto the attack, Sean.
Yeah, it's still been very difficult for them to break that midfield line and get a run at the back four. Promising side. It does feel a little like they've just soaked up a bit of pressure, although as soon as I say that, here's Badiashile again.
Foot in there from Palella. Glory making one change at half-time if you are late joining us in this second half of this NPL WA Under-18s Top 4 Cup Final. Kwarango came on for Jonathan Lighthead. Bayswater yet to turn to their bench, but they've got a couple of players warming up who we may see shortly.
First goal, always important in finals. It's given a job to do there.
Oh, nearly a mistake from Haas, who went back and cleaned up the mess. Last touch there was off Scotland Morrison, and away that one goes.
Yeah, not the pass you want as the centre half. I was just going to say, first goal in finals is always huge, but it felt like from the start when you saw the way these teams were setting up and prompting and probing at each other that it's especially important in this one, isn't it?
Certainly is. So little to split these teams so far on the day. Moment of quality, or perhaps a mistake, may decide it. Fuller's pass broke for Gert Prinsloo. And Punga all the way back to his goalkeeper. Glory maybe just looking to take the sting out of things for a second or two. Just get a little bit of control back into the game. Wanting to dictate it on their terms. Now Overy will come forward. That's the pass in between the lines for Sutherland, who's running with the ball and has options to his right. One of them was Barry. The pass wasn't picked and Kelly stepped in to clear. But once again, Sutherland in that position that made Glory look dangerous. And now Bayswater will turn to the bench for their first time this afternoon. We're going to see Ben Thorpe depart and Taduanashe Kazamba come on in his place.
Playing number 5, Benjamin Thorpe. Replaced by number 7, Taduanashe Kazamba.
So Kazamba looks as though he's going to go over to the far side. And Badiashile will come over to the left as a result. Sutherland. He looms as the key potentially. Pass was looking for Overy, who was making the break forward from full back. Four appearances and 2 goals for Kazamba this season. Once of Rockingham. Change coming here for the Glory. We're going to see Daniel Adesina come off. I'm going to see Gabe Leo come on in his place.
Midfielder play number 9, Daniel Adesina. Replaced by number 13, Gabe Leo.
Player who's had a frustrating 2022 has Leo with injury. Back in time to play in the postseason. Scored 27 goals in 20 games for Bayswater's under 15s last year, so he knows where the back of the net is. Just hasn't had the opportunities this season to flourish. Meanwhile, Bayswater come the other way. Boric with a cross, off from Punga and behind for a corner.
That one's off. Landed right near my car. Might need to send someone to make sure it's okay.
The crowd just building nicely here for this big day of top 4 cup final football here at Dorrien Gardens. NPL WA Under-21's women's fixture up next between Perth Red Star and Hyundai NTC. That one's at 12:15. We will. Meanwhile, the header is flashed across by Boric, who met Kelly's corner at the near post. Tough one to re-divert on target, though, and watching that one wide was Cook.
Yeah, of course, the women's NPL first team will be Red Star NTC. Should be a couple of great games, and we'd love to have you continue to join us on the broadcast, on the Facebook streams or on NPL TV.
That's Sean Fry. I'm Tommy Dolman. Absolutely right. We've got you covered throughout this day of top 4 cup final action here in the West. A season ender for all the NPL teams. Gorgeous Saturday afternoon for football, slightly north of Perth CBD. Still plenty of time to get down and enjoy the action throughout the day as the switch of the play here reaches James Overy. Looks to get to the byline. Challenge was from Kelly. And the penalty is awarded. Or has it? Referee will come over to confer with his assistant.
So. I think it looked like he took a tumble there. He just waited for the contact and flopped to the ground. For me, that's not a penalty. That's more of a dive than a penalty.
Let's wait and see what the referees say. Looks as though it's going to be a corner. In terms of the way that these teams are stepping up. No, it's a free kick right on the edge of the area. So the initial contact was deemed to be right on the edge of that 18-yard line. Quite literally.
Well,
and
I'm not
we'll
sure
have to take another look at that one. But
yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't think it should have even been a foul. But they certainly, in my eyes at least, didn't deserve a penalty. So I'm glad that at the very least they didn't get that.
Glory still might make something of this moment though. Palella's ball in low, skidding delivery, watched all the way by Sinclair, who's keen to get Bayswater forward on the quick release. Roberts is the one who's herring forward. Running ahead of him was Badiashile. Making the challenge was Debrew. Mpunga away. Borich, ball forward. Scotland Morrison in the penalty area. Strike was charged down by Overy.
Yeah, we've seen him get forward on a couple of occasions, Scotland Morrison, and get a strike away. Hasn't managed to get one past the Glory defenders, but he's won them a set piece here.
Mandurah City Junior Scotland Morrison, scorer of the opening goal against Perth in that 3-0 win in midweek in the prelim.
One of several big bodies they can aim to hit here, although a couple of them staying back to do their defensive duties in Potts and Thorpe.
Julian Kelly is going to swing this one in dangerously right on the nose of that 6-yard line. Glory have some defending to do. They do just enough to get it away. Now Badiashile tries to burrow his way through the challenge of Barry, and the decision is a goal kick.
I'd like to see Bayswater get a couple more bodies forward there. Glory's not leaving anyone up, and you've got the height at the back that could surely be a target from those set pieces, but they end up just defending a 3-on-0.
Just while we have this break in play, worth reminding you that we will go straight to a penalty shootout if the scores are level after 90 minutes. Only the men's and women's senior finals later in the day will go to extra time and penalties if required. Certainly looks a real prospect. Here's Sutherland. Turning away, wanting an option wide left. Here it is in the form of Ngo. Little reverse pass. The layoff from Leo. Ngo. Tricky winger. In he comes. Morrison trapped him all the way and then gave away the penalty. Glory are awarded a spot kick. With a little over 20 minutes to play, it was Ngo, the substitute, who made the bursting run forward. And the penalty spot was pointed to. First thoughts, Sean Fry.
Well, the initial thoughts there was that was a much better shout than the first one. Certainly had an impact when he's been able to get on the ball at drive it than the substitute. And yeah, gut instinct says yes, that's probably the right call. But of course we are a fair way away with a few bodies between us.
So Ngo plants the ball down on the penalty spot. Finished 4th in the scoring charts in the under-18s competition this year. 11 goals in his last 9 games, and he's entrusted with this spot kick. One-on-one with Robert Sinclair. It's Ngo who steps up, and Sinclair gets down low to his right to save. And the Bayswater players get around him, but hang on a minute. Hang on a minute.
Oh, no.
The referee and the assistant will confer with each other.
I think it looks like the linesman saying he was off his line when he dived, of course. I mean, this is a rule that's just been brought in the last couple of years, as we all know, and I really don't like it. But the rules are the rules, and he's in the best position of anyone.
Hard for us to see from here. One thing that is true is that the assistant is in the best position to make that decision, better than anyone else in this ground, so we'll leave it at that. Take 2, and Ngo steps up, and it's saved again by Sinclair, and Ngo puts in the follow-up though. A little unlucky for the goalkeeper, but the deadlock's broken with 19 minutes to play. Glory 1, Bayswater 0.
Wow. We always get drama, don't we, Tommy, at these cup final days? We had a retake of penalty, and again, saved on the second attempt by Robert Sinclair. And it's just heartbreaking that he pushed it back out, and then Ngo did what he had to do. He was alive to it and put the rebound in the back of the net.
Well, you can't.
Bayswater can respond.
I was just about to say, you can't get much more unlucky than Sinclair there. Made 2 stops from the penalty spot. Unfortunately, though, on the second save, the ball just came out far enough for Ngo to be able to finish on the rebounds. Controversial way to kickstart the scoring in this game, and Ngo looking to make inroads again. Stepping in was Haas. He bursts forward looking to make something happen. And Bayswater will now have to open up. They'll have to take a few more risks, a couple more chances, maybe an extra player in midfield, maybe an extra striker up in the higher areas of the pitch as well. Look at this attacking press here. Mpunga, possession was turned over. Sliding in was James Overy. Fuller went to ground and he was fouled, and Bayswater have a free kick in a good position, and Prinsloo will go into the book as a result of the challenge, the first yellow card of the afternoon for Glory.
Yeah, he's been dispossessed and tended over a few times, Mpunga, so far in this game. Just needs to be a little more careful with it, especially now as you say, Bayswater are going to have to throw a little bit more caution to the wind, throw a few more bodies forward in search of this equaliser. They look up to the challenge. They've arguably been the better side, and how about this, Tommy? A little game of rock, paper, scissors to determine the free kick taker. I've got to say, I've never seen that before.
Well, let's see what the winner of rock, paper, scissors brings up here. Badiashile looks as though he's going to be the taker.
I didn't see what he went with, whether it was a rock that got him the win or...
4 in the Glory wall. Badiashile approaching this dead ball. It's low. It's a disappointing attempt in the end. Potts. Potts again. Overy passes away from Leo. Haas looking to skip past the forward. Haas continued his run. Ball forward was then put into the area by Kazamba.
A lot more bodies staying forward now, aren't there? Look at this. This is a swarm of purple shirts. Important foot in.
And that's the risk, although Kazamba did really well to work back. And Haas can keep it in place. So Round about 15 minutes left to play here at Dorrien Gardens. First of 5 top 4 Cup NPL finals this afternoon. Perth Glory 1, Bayswater 0. Quarren Go, the scorer. After having 2 penalties saved, he put the second in on the follow-up. And that's the decisive moment on the score sheet in this game so far. On the Football West Facebook page and on the YouTube channel with you throughout the day. Sutherland. Maisie run through. 1, 2 and 3 challenges. Cross then comes in, wide open at the back post. I think it was Leo who was sniffing out an opportunity. Ball was cleared. Now Fuller. Touches off. Palella. And it'll be a Basie throw. Flick on from Boric. Kazamba. Into the penalty area. Was just checked by a defender. Cross comes in. Badiashile in all sorts of space to get the strike away. And it's cleared off the line brilliantly by a retreating defender. I think it was Diabru who was back there. It was definitely creeping into the bottom corner. And it would have been 1-1 had it not been for the holding midfielder tracking back. Now and Go. Glory come the other way. And Go goes to ground. Draws the foul. Glory free kick. Action at both ends.
Well, this is one where you don't want to be on a yellow card. Of course, picked up the yellow card in the first half for a very, very silly kick away of the ball. Jack Roberts, and put an arm there across Go as he tried to drive into the box again. He's had a real impact since coming on. And he's going to keep running, I'm sure, at Roberts. And if he does, there's every chance Bayswater go down to 10 men here.
Spoke about it briefly last night, Sean. You tend to see a little bit of everything on these top 4 Cup weekends. We saw an official needing some injury treatment last night. We saw a goal line clearance here, a twice taken penalty. All sorts of action happens on these types of weekends. These finals can deliver that little different type of pressure that you get through the regular season. A good opportunity for some of these youngsters to play in a cutthroat game where the decisions become more important. And the stakes are that little bit higher with silverware on the line. Of course, these two teams very much used to playing in these big clashes over the years. And whilst Go gets a little bit of treatment, Bayswater will turn to the bench and make a double switch. One of those changes will see Billy Baker come on. He'll come on in place of Celestin Fuller.
Number 10, Celestin Fuller. To be replaced by number 13, Billy Baker.
And it was just the one change in the end, which was made by Willie Hurd's side.
Well, when that ball fell to Badiashile, you just thought we were going to be level at 1. He had plenty of time and in the end did a pretty good job. He just thought all he had to do was bring the ball down and pick the corner. He did everything right, but an incredible tracking run from the Glory number 6, Giovanni Diabreu, clearing it off the goal line. And now, Glory with a chance right on the corner of the 18-yard box to double their lead.
In comes a free kick. It hits the wall. Barry was the taker. Secondary ball in. Prinsley will attack. And in the end, he had a free header from just outside the 6-yard line, and he might be a little disappointed not to hit the target.
Yeah, not good defending at all from Bayswater. Potts maybe misjudged it. Maybe thought he had a teammate behind him. He did have a couple of teammates behind him, but neither of them wanted to attack it either. Very lucky in the end that the header was over the bar.
Foul was conceded in midfield by Demirovic, I think that was. No advantage there.
A little bit of love for Giovanni on the Facebook live stream, as you can imagine after a goal line clearance like that at this stage of a cup final.
Prinsloo, little pass.
Those are the moments that can get your hands on the silverware.
Overy stepping in. That was the substitute in Baker trying to slip himself in behind. Prinsloo. Roberts, half a challenge. Prinsloo continuing his run. Ball breaks back the other way for Badiashile. Prinsloo was working hard though on the retreat. And now Dabru, who's done a good job screening midfield today. Obviously that important goal line clearance as well. James Overy, layoff for Sammy Barry. The cutback and finding the bottom corner. In fact, he thought that might have beaten Sinclair. It didn't. It was Gabe Leo who made good contact, it seemed, but maybe not good enough contact in the end because Sinclair made the save.
No, look, from our angle, I'm seeing exactly what you were seeing, Tommy. I thought he'd smashed that in the end. I think maybe he scuffed it a little.
Game understandably becoming a little bit more stretched now with Bayswater obviously chasing that equaliser. Glory getting a little bit of joy on the counter-attack. Haas has got the strength to see off and go, and wins a free kick for his team. Bayswater fans urging their team forward for one final push, one final chance of winning a second piece of silverware to go with their state cup.
That 4-4-2 from the first half, starting to look a lot more like a 4-2-4.
Sammy Barry comes away with it. Roberts was in the way. Nice pass here in front of Haas to invite him forward. Haas then turned into trouble. Purple shirts outnumbered him.
Oh, it's very clever.
Now, Leo will drive forward the substitutes. Goal kick.
Yeah, clever use of the body on halfway from Gabe Leo. Just couldn't get away. Yeah, you can see Badiashile and Kuzumba pushing up a lot higher. There's the ladder. Competing for the ball in the air, but that's going to leave these spaces in behind.
Prinsloo lifts across for James Overy. Running to the channel was from Leo, who got there first. The goalkeeper, though, also arrived in quick time and managed to snuff out the danger.
Wouldn't be surprised to see another goal here.
Looks more likely to be Glory who get the second, it has to be said. Scotland Morrison sticks a leg in. Sutherland lifted over his head. The battle for the ball in midfield, won by Bayswater.
I'm not sure about trying to flick it over your opponent's head in midfield if you're a Glory player at the moment.
Looks as though Haas has switched with Roberts, now playing over on the right-hand side, possibly to match the pace of Ngo. Bayswater with another roll of the dice here. We're going to see Lachlan Fuller come on in place of Samuel Badiashile will be the player who departs. And Fuller comes on, the scorer of the equalising goal in that State Cup final to make it 1-1 before Borwich's winner. They'll be hoping he can tie it up again late in the piece here. Bayswater with a touch over 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I was just going to say moments ago that I think Badiashile's legs are looking a little heavy. He's obviously done a lot of running in this second half and looked very dangerous, but you saw on that goal line clearance from Giovanni that He didn't quite have the spring in his step. That'll be a foul.
Mpunga was fouled by Boric, as was spotted by Sean. He sorts a free kicker. Just what Bayswater will, just what Glory would want, sorry, in their bid to just slow the tempo down, slow the pace. Take a few more seconds off that clock into the final 5 minutes. Perth Glory 1, Bayswater City 0. NPL Under 18's Top 4 Cup Final. Julian Kelly with the ball over the top, gives Fuller something to chase, and Mpunga made the interception. Change will be made by Glory now. Going to see a little cameo for Louis Sollert. And Sollert will come on for Sammy Barry, who's not in any real rush to make his way off the pitch.
Substitution, leaving the field of play, number 11, Sam Barry.
Throw-in comes in from Lachlan Fuller. Boric with the header. Jethro Haas lifts it into the area again. Lifted forward. The strike came in and it flashed just wide of the upright from Billy Baker. The layoff was from Kazamba in there. And Bayswater get a chance to tie up the score. Was not taken though. Cook's clearance upfield. Haas. Demirovic. Been busy in midfield today for Bayswater. Jethro Haas with the long throw. The flick on from Kazamba. Lurking was Fuller, and it was gathered by Cook on the very last line. Two minutes to play, plus any added time. Mpunga across, gives Boric a sniff. The clearance was from Overy. Prinsloo wins the 50-50 with Morrison, the two number 8s. Now Haas forward again. Mpunga missed the interception. Who got a touch on that? A Glory player did, according to the officials. And Fuller will launch another long ball into the mixer. Bit of defending for the Glory to do. Fuller's long ball aimed in towards that near post. I think it was Mpunga who got the header away. Now Sollert gives chase. Bayswater keep the ball. Kelly just ran into a sea of purple shirts. And now coming the other way is Gabe Leo, who is through on goal here. Trayvon Potts stuck with him the whole way though. Then went to ground. Leo kept his feet. Looked as though there was a pull of the jersey though. Nothing doing as far as the decision is concerned, and Potts is able to scramble that upfield any old how and away to safety.
There was a big pull of the jersey there. I think he was happy to take the foul and the booking, and in the end he's got away with one. Depending on the angle you get as the referee and assistant, if they're in the middle of it and they don't see the shirt pull, of course they can't call it, but it was really, really good defending initially to stay with the runner.
Overy fouled by Fuller.
It seemed unnecessary.
Overy with the switch of the play. Glory happy to just keep possession now. Palella. Ball forward here. He was nudged off the ball by Boric. And the referee saw that as a free kick. And Glory will be very happy with that decision as 45 minutes is up for the second half and we'll have 4 more minutes of time added on.
A minimum of 4 minutes added time in the second half. 4 minutes.
Glory look as though going to make another change to just nip 30 seconds off the clock, although that player in Harley Zorich will go back to the bench.
Yeah, I think that's a substitution in terms of timing that they want to make to stop the game again.
Yellow card was just shown there. I think it was the Jethro Haas, but not 100% sure what happened there. At least that's where the referee was seemingly pointing. Anyway, it's a Glory free kick, as long and as far as possible towards the direction of Solid. Bayswater have the numbers here. Solid giving chase, doing what he's asked to do in terms of offering those fresh legs and not making it easy for Bayswater to come back upfield. And now Boric will go into the book. Bayswater in there, desperate attempts to get the ball back, just conceding a couple of fouls.
A bit of frustration and desperation, and now I think we will see that change. Harley Zorich preparing to come on.
So 4 minutes was flagged. We've played about 1 minute and 40 seconds of the added time, but not a lot of that has actually been in the field of play.
Number 8, Gert Prinsloo.
And now Gert Prinsley will come off and Harley Zorich will come on for a little cameo late on.
Be replaced by number 18, Harley Zorich.
Very warm round of applause for Gert Prinsley, the skipper. Paddled away in midfield today and walks off with his side leading by a goal to nil. Can only be a minute or 2 left.
Likely to be lifting that trophy in 5 minutes or so, unless Bayswater can create one more opportunity and send this game to a penalty shootout.
Now, we saw one late in the Swan United Caramar game last night, a corner with the goalkeeper up that just snuck by the outside of the goalpost.
Everyone forward now by the goalkeeper and the taker Potts. It's aimed in towards Kazamba. Palella is fighting. Kazamba, ball might break for Baker here. Mpunga went to ground. Corner.
What are you doing, keeper? He's asking. Go on, says the coach. Here we go.
Coach has sent Potts forward. The goalkeeper will stand on halfway. It's going to be everyone in the penalty area bar Robert Sinclair.
Get him in there as well. You've got 30 seconds left. He wants to go, and he is. It's that classic argument between coach and goalkeeper, and he's saying, why not?
Goalkeeper,
what
maybe.
What else are we going to do? It might take matters into his own hands here.
Kelly's delivery, deep delivery on top of the net. And that'll be the last action of the game. Glory completes a league and top 4 cup double in season 2022. The future is bright for the under-18s in this Glory Academy. Probably not their most vintage performance of the season. They had to work quite hard for it. The decisive goal in the end was scored by Kwaran Go, a twice taken penalty, the second of those saved. And the taker was on hand to follow up after Robert Sinclair made 2 massive saves. Bayswater's best chance of pulling back an equaliser came from Samuel Badiashile, but Giovanni Deobru was back on the goal line to clear away to safety. And that's how the game finished. Sean Fry, quick 30 seconds from you before you head down to do your post-match duties.
Yeah, not much more to say from me. It was everything you said. It was hard fought. It was a tough battle. Bayswater looked to dig in, keep it tight. They did keep it tight, but it took a little burst off the bench from Go to turn this one around. And when you play the way both these sides played today, there's always just going to be a goal in it. Fantastic start to the Saturday.
We'll see you shortly for game 2, Sean. Next one coming up is Perth Red Star versus Hyundai NTC in the NPL W21s. That one kicks off at 12:15 Western time. First of our 5 top 4 cup finals in the NPL WA competitions done. Perth Glory's 18s winning by a goal to nil over Bayswater.
Fantastic final there to kick off our big Saturday of action. Please put your hands together for both sides for a really tough fought final. I'll now call upon Football West General Manager Perry Iolati to assist in the medal presentation, starting with our 4 match officials. Could you please come forward to collect your medals? On-field referee James Webb, first assistant Alex Cicciarone, second assistant Samuel Baker, and 4th official James Graham. Without our officials, we don't have football at all, ladies and gentlemen, so please put your hands together for our officiating team today. We'll now invite our runners-up, Bayswater City forward, to collect their medals, starting with number 1, Robert Sinclair. Number 3, Trey Potts. Number 5, Benjamin Thorpe. Number 8, Scotland Morrison. Number 9, Oren Borich. Number 10, Celestin Fuller. Number 11, Julian Kelly. Number 14, Jack Roberts. Number 17, Sasha Demirovic. Number 20, Samuel Badiashile. Number 21, Jethro Haas. Number 2, Nathan Shufrin. Number 7, Taduanashe Kuzamba. Number 13, Billy Baker. Number 16, Ayan Yazalu. Number 18, Etienne Furi. And number 19, Lachlan Fuller. Could we please get the Bayswater City coaching staff to also come forward and collect their medals? We'll now invite today's winners forward to collect their medals, starting with number 1, Robert Cook. Number 2, Jonathan Leadhead. Number 3, Jack Overy. Number 4, Malise Mapanga. Number 5, Christian Pulella. Number 6, Giovanni Diabreu. Number 7, James Overy. Number 8, Gert Prinsloo. Number 9, Daniel Adesina. Number 10, Corey Sutherland. Number 11, Sam Barry. Number 12, Koa Ngo. Number 13, Gabe Leo. Number 14, Louis Solitz. Number 15, Noah Irachi. Number 18, Harley Zorich. Number 17, Elmar Zamastagic. And number 25, Liam Coyne. Could the Gory coaching staff come forward and collect their medals? We give it to the people, spread it across the country. Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. I'll now invite Captain and Coach forward to collect the trophy. Yeah, I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go punch, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me. Go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like you gave a little speed to a great white truck on truck. We gone. Gonna go gone. Since goodbye, I got a world to see. And my girl, she wanna see Rome. Ladies and gentlemen, your NPL under 18 top 4 cup winners for 2022. Perth Glory! Like nobody was watching, I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. Learn from that failure, then humility, and then we keep marching. And we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. Feel like it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. Feel like it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Another fantastic final to kick off a massive Sunday of finals here, Saturday rather, I'm ahead of myself, of finals here at Dorrien Gardens. For those of you just joining us, we'd like to welcome you for the 2022 NPL Top 4 Finals. We'd like to thank the State Government through the Department of Local Government, Sport and Cultural Industries and Lottery West, who are a major supporter of Football West and the Top 4 Cup Finals. We know that sport and recreation help to build stronger, healthier, happier and safer communities. Spectators today are also invited to have a quick game of FIFA 22 on the PS5 and participate in a Keepy Uppy challenge. This is all part of our Couch to Pitch initiative, which promotes healthy gaming habits and encourages an active lifestyle. All participants win a prize courtesy of Think Mental Health. Today's second match between the Hyundai NTC and Perth Red Star is scheduled to kick off in quarter of an hour at 12:15 p.m. Please make use of the Dorrien Gardens hospitality with food and beverages available up those stairs there in the club rooms.